Ever wondered what a billion-dollar mansion looks like? We're about to show you not just one, but 15 of the most insane mega homes on the planet. These ain't your average McMansions, folks. From gold-plated toilets to underground nightclubs, these cribs are so next level it's hard to believe they're even real. But trust me, they are. And we're gonna take you inside each one. The one, Bel Air, California. Alright, let's kick things off with the one. A mega mansion in Bel Air that's so extra, it makes other mansions look like doll houses. This place is massive. We're talking 105,000 square feet of pure luxury. That's like 50 regular houses smooshed together. The one's got 21 bedrooms and 49 bathrooms. Yeah, you heard that right. 49 bathrooms. Most of us are lucky if we have 2 bathrooms in our whole house, but this place has enough toilets to handle a small army. But wait, it gets crazier. The one's got a 30-car garage. That's not a typo. 30 cars. Your average Joe's lucky to have a 2-car garage, but this place could fit a whole car dealership. And if that wasn't enough, it's got a 10,000 square foot sky deck. That's bigger than most people's entire homes. The amenities in this place are insane. It's got its own nightclub, so you never have to leave home to party. There's a beauty salon, 'cause why bother going out to get your hair done when you can have a whole salon in your house? And there's a wellness center, complete with a gym and spa. It's like a whole mall crammed into one house. Now here's where things get wild. The developer of the one, Nile Niami, originally wanted to sell this place for $500 million. That's $500 million for a house. But turns out, even billionaires have their limits. The one ended up going to a bankruptcy auction. Ouch. But don't feel too bad. It still sold for a whopping $141 million. That's like 700 average American homes. Most of us will never see that kind of money in our lifetimes, but for the ultra-rich, it's just another Tuesday. But here's the kicker. Even at $141 million, the one isn't even close to being the most expensive mansion on our list. That's right, we're just getting started. The next place on our list makes the one look like a bargain. So buckle up, 'cause we're about to see some seriously insane billion-dollar cribs. Villa Leopolda, French Riviera. From Bel Air to the French Riviera, we're cranking up the luxury dial. Imagine a place so massive it needs an army of gardeners just to keep it looking pretty. And get this, it's got a backstory that'll blow your mind. We're talking royalty, World War II, and a deal gone south that cost more than most people make in a lifetime. Welcome to Villa Leopolda, a mansion with some serious royal cred. This place was built for a real-life king, King Leopold II of Belgium. It's a 50-acre estate on the French Riviera, worth a mind-boggling $750 million. That's like 3,750 average American homes all rolled into one super fancy package. Now, let's talk size. This place is huge. It's got 11 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms, but that ain't even the crazy part. It takes 50 gardeners to keep this place looking nice. That's right, 50 people just to mow the lawn and trim the hedges. Your average backyard is like 0.2 acres. Villa Leopolda, it's 250 times bigger. It's not a yard, it's a whole dang country. But wait, there's more. This place has got its own commercial greenhouse. 'Cause why buy flowers when you can grow your own, right? And if that wasn't enough, it's got a private beach. Most of us are lucky if we can find a spot on a crowded public beach. But the owner of Villa Leopolda has a whole stretch of coastline all to themselves. Here's where it gets wild. During World War II, this fancy mansion wasn't just sitting around looking pretty. Nope, it was turned into a military hospital. Imagine getting treated for battle wounds in a place nicer than most 5-star hotels. Now you'd think a place this fancy would sell in a heartbeat, right? Well, not quite. In 2008, a Russian billionaire tried to buy Villa Leopolda for $750 million. That's $750 million, folks. But at the last minute, he backed out of the deal. Here's the kicker. He lost his $50 million deposit. That's right, $50 million down the drain. That's like losing 100 normal houses worth of cash. For most of us, that's more money than we'll see in 10 lifetimes. But for these billionaires, it's just another day at the office. Villa Leopolda ain't just a house, it's a whole other world. A world where $50 million is pocket change and having your own private beach is no big deal. It's the kind of place that makes you realize just how crazy the world of billion-dollar mansions really is. And believe it or not, we're just getting started. The next place on our list is going to make Villa Leopolda look like a starter home. Villa Les Cedres, French Riviera. You thought Villa Leopolda was crazy. Wait till you see this next place. It's got a library that'll make bookworms drool and a garden that's basically its own jungle. And get this, it was sold for $200 million, which was actually a bargain. How's that even possible? Let's find out. Villa Les Cedres is another insane mansion on the French Riviera, and this one's got some serious royal history. It used to be owned by the actual King of Belgium. Yeah, we're talking proper royalty here, not just some rich dude playing king. This place is old, like really old. It's a 187-year-old mansion with 14 bedrooms. That's older than most countries and bigger than most apartment buildings. But the bedrooms ain't even the crazy part. Check this out. Villa Les Cedres has a library with 3,000 books. But here's the weird part. They're all about plants. Yeah, you heard that right. 3,000 books just about plants. Your average home might have a bookshelf or two. This place is like a whole Barnes and Noble, but just for gardening nerds. Speaking of plants, the grounds of this place are insane. It's got a 35-acre botanical garden with 15,000 rare tropical plants. Most people struggle to keep a houseplant alive, but these guys have their own personal jungle. It's like they took a chunk of the Amazon and plopped it down in France. And don't even get me started on the swimming pool. This ain't your average backyard pool. Nah, it's an Olympic-size pool carved right into the coastal rocks. Most of us are happy with an above-ground pool from Walmart. These folks literally reshaped the coastline for their daily swim. Now you'd think a place this fancy would cost a fortune, right? Well, you're not wrong. In 2019, Villa Les Cedres sold for $200 million. That's like 1,000 average homes all rolled into one. But here's the crazy part. That was actually a bargain. The place was originally listed for $410 million. That's right, it sold for less than half the asking price. Imagine walking into a store, seeing something for $410, and the cashier says, "You know what? I'll give it to you for $200. That's basically what happened here, just with a few more zeros. But don't feel too bad for the sellers. Turns out, the previous owner was a beverage company that got the place basically for free. They picked it up as part of a business deal and decided to flip it for a couple $100 million. Not a bad profit margin, huh? So there you have it. Villa Les Cedres, a place where the swimming pool is part of the ocean, the backyard is a tropical jungle, and $200 million is considered a good deal. Just when you think these billion-dollar mansions can't get any crazier, they always find a way to surprise you. But trust me, we're just getting started. The next place on our list is gonna make your head spin. Villa Aurora, Rome, Italy. Just when you thought these mansions couldn't get any crazier, we're about to step into a home that's been in the same family since before the United States even existed. This ain't just old money, it's ancient money. And wait till you hear what's on the ceiling. Welcome to Villa Aurora, a place that's not just a house, it's basically an art museum you can live in. We're talking 30,000 square feet of pure luxury in the heart of Rome. But the real kicker? This palace is packed with priceless art that'd make the Louvre jealous. Now get this, Villa Aurora's got the world's only ceiling mural by Caravaggio. Yeah, that Caravaggio. And it ain't just any old painting. This thing's worth $360 million all by itself. Most of us are lucky if we've got some IKEA prints on our walls. This place has stuff worth more than whole museums. But the art ain't even the craziest part. This villa's been owned by the same family for 400 years. That's right. While America was still just a twinkle in the founding fathers' eyes, this family was already kicking back in their Roman palace. Talk about old money. Now, you'd think a place this fancy would sell in a heartbeat, right? Well, hold on to your hats, cause in 2022, Villa Aurora went up for auction. And the starting price? A cool $471 million. That's nearly $500 million just to get your foot in the door. But here's where it gets wild. Nobody bought it. Yeah, you heard that right. Even the billionaires were like, nah, that's a bit much. Turns out, even the ultra-rich have their limits. Who knew? And it's not just the price tag that's keeping buyers away. The place needs some serious work. We're talking about $11 million in renovations just to make it livable. Most of us stress about fixing a leaky faucet. These folks gotta worry about restoring priceless art and fixing up a centuries-old mansion. But don't feel too bad for the owners. They're still sitting pretty in their art-filled palace. And get this, they're gonna try to sell it again. Cause when you've got a house worth hundreds of millions, you don't just give up after one failed auction. So there you have it, Villa Aurora, a place where the ceiling art is worth more than most people will make in 10 lifetimes and where $471 million is considered a starting price. It's the kind of place that makes you realize just how wild the world of billion-dollar real estate really is. But hold up, because the next place on our list makes this one look cheap. We're about to step into a mansion so fancy, it makes the Queen's house look like a starter home. Yeah, you heard that right. Get ready, because things are about to get even crazier. Whittenhurst, London, UK. Ever wondered what it's like to live in a house that's basically its own zip code? Imagine a mansion so big, it needs its own area code. We're about to tour a place that's got more square footage than some small towns. But the real shocker? This ain't even the biggest private house in London. Welcome to Whittenhurst, a mega mansion that's so fancy, it makes Buckingham Palace look like a starter home. This place is massive. We're talking 90,000 square feet of pure luxury. That's over 100 times bigger than your average London flat. Most people in London are lucky to have 800 square feet, but the folks at Whittenhurst are living large in a space that could fit a whole neighborhood. This place is worth a cool $450 million. That's enough to buy a small island, but these guys spent it all on one house. And get this, it's the second largest private house in London, right after Buckingham Palace. Yeah, you heard that right. The only person in London with a bigger crib than this is the actual Queen. But Whittenhurst ain't just big, it's packed with crazy features. It's got a 70-foot ballroom. Most of us are happy if we've got enough space for a dinner table, but these folks can throw a whole royal ball in their living room. And if that wasn't enough, they've got their own private movie theater. No need to deal with noisy strangers or overpriced popcorn when you can watch the latest blockbusters in your own home cinema. Now here's where it gets weird. This place was a total mystery for years. Nobody knew who owned it or what was going on inside. It was like a real-life game of Clue, but with billion-dollar real estate. Turns out, the owner is a Russian billionaire. Because when you've got that much cash, why not buy a house that's bigger than most hotels? But Whittenhurst ain't just a pretty face, it's also a TV star. The house was used as a filming location for The X Factor. So while most of us are binge-watching shows on our couches, the folks at Whittenhurst are watching TV shows being made in their backyard. You'd think a place this fancy would be all about privacy, but nah. The owners spent millions on renovations and didn't even try to keep it quiet. They added a 3-story basement with a swimming pool, gym, and cinema. It's like they took a luxury resort and stuffed it underground. But here's the crazy part. Even with all this space and all these fancy features, Whittenhurst still looks tiny compared to our next mega mansion. Yeah, you heard that right. We're about to step into a place that makes this 90,000 square foot palace look like a cozy cottage. Get ready, because things are about to get even wilder. Antilia, Mumbai, India. From London to Mumbai, we're cranking up the luxury dial to 11. Imagine a place so massive it makes Whittenhurst look like a studio apartment. We're talking about a home that's not just tall, it's got more floors than some office buildings, and that's just the start of the insanity. Welcome to Antilia, a 27-story skyscraper that someone actually calls home. This ain't your average mansion, it's a whole vertical city owned by India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani. We're talking 400,000 square feet of pure luxury. That's like 4 football fields stacked on top of each other. But the real kicker, this place has got 6 whole floors just for parking cars. Yeah, you heard that right. While most of us are fighting for street parking, this guy's got a vertical car dealership in his house. We're talking space for 168 cars. That's enough to park a different ride every day for almost half a year. And don't even get me started on the staff. Antilia's got a team of 600 people just to keep it running. That's more than some small companies. Most of us stress about hiring a cleaner once a week. This guy's got an army of people just to dust his chandeliers. Speaking of over the top, Antilia's got not 1, not 2, but 3 helipads. 'Cause why deal with Mumbai traffic when you can just fly home, right? It's like having your own private airport on your roof. But here's the crazy part. This place is built like a fortress. It can withstand an 8.0 magnitude earthquake. Most of us are happy if our houses don't leak when it rains. This guy's pad could probably survive the apocalypse. Now, you're probably wondering how much all this costs. Well, hold on to your wallets, 'cause it ain't cheap. Antilia cost up to $1 billion to build. That's right, billion with a B. And now, it's worth somewhere between $1, $2 billion. That's like buying a small country, but instead, it's just one house. But believe it or not, Antilia ain't even the most expensive place on our list. Yeah, you heard that right. There are actually cribs out there that make this billion-dollar skyscraper look like a bargain. We're about to see some places that'll make your head spin and your wallet cry. So stick around, cause things are about to get even crazier. Villa Firenze, Beverly Hills, California. You think Antillia's big? We're about to tour a place so massive it's got its own street. Yeah, a whole street just chilling inside the property. This ain't your average mansion. It's a small town masquerading as a house. Welcome to Villa Firenze, a Beverly Hills mega mansion that's redefining what it means to live large. This place is huge. We're talking 28,660 square feet of pure luxury. But that's just the house, the whole property. It's sprawled across 10 acres of prime California real estate. Your average house lot is like 0.2 acres. This place is 50 times that. It's not a yard, it's a whole dang country. Now let's talk bedrooms. Villa Firenze's got 20 of them. That's enough to sleep a small army. And bathrooms? 23. You could use a different bathroom every day for over 3 weeks straight. Most of us are lucky if we've got 2 bathrooms in our whole house. These folks have got enough toilets to handle a rock concert. But wait, there's more. This place has got a guest house that's bigger than most people's entire homes. It's like they took a regular mansion and were like, you know what? Let's stick this in the backyard for when company comes over. And get this, Villa Firenze's got its own walking trail that goes around the whole property. Most of us are happy if we can take a lap around the block. These folks can go hiking without ever leaving home. It's not a backyard, it's a national park. Now remember that street I mentioned? Yeah, Villa Firenze's got its own private road with room for 30 cars. Most of us stress about finding a spot on the street. These folks have got their own parking lot. It's like they took a Walmart parking lot and said, you know what, let's make this our driveway. So how much does all this cost? Well, hold on to your wallets, cause it ain't cheap. Villa Firenze sold for $165 million in 2021. That's enough to buy a small island, but these folks spent it all on one house. And here's the crazy part, that was actually a bargain. Yeah, you heard that right. The place was originally listed for $165 million, so they got it for a steal. It's like finding a Ferrari in the bargain bin. But wait, there's more. Villa Firenze ain't even the priciest pad on our list. Yeah, you heard that right. We're about to see some places that make this $165 million mansion look like a starter home, so stick around, cause things are about to get even wilder. The next billion-dollar crib on our list is gonna make your head spin and your wallet cry. Get ready, cause the luxury's about to get turned up to 11. Palazzo di Amore, Beverly Hills, California. Ever wondered what it's like to live in a house that makes its own wine? This next mansion's got you covered, and that's just the beginning of its crazy features. Welcome to Palazzo di Amore, a Beverly Hills mega mansion that's so extra, it's got its own vineyard and wine label. This place is huge. We're talking 53,000 square feet of pure luxury. That's like 20 average-sized houses all smooshed together. And get this, it's valued at $195 million. That's enough to buy a small island, but these folks spent it all on one house. But the real kicker? Palazzo di Amore's got a 15,000 square foot entertainment complex. Yeah, you heard that right. Most people's whole house could fit in this guy's party room. And it ain't just any party room, it's got its own bowling alley. Cause why go to the local bowling alley when you can have one in your basement, right? Now let's talk about that vineyard. This place makes 500 cases of wine a year. Most of us are happy if we can keep a houseplant alive, but these folks are running a whole winery in their backyard. It's like they took a chunk of Napa Valley and plopped it down in Beverly Hills. But wait, there's more. Palazzo di Amore's got a garage for 27 cars. That's not a typo, 27 cars. Your average Joe's lucky to have a 2-car garage, but this place could fit a whole car dealership. And if that wasn't enough, it's got its own gas station. Yeah, you read that right, a private gas station. Cause why bother going to the local pump when you can fill up at home? Now, you'd think a place this fancy would sell in a heartbeat, right? Well, not quite. In 2014, the owner tried to sell Palazzo di Amore for $195 million. That's almost $250 million, folks. But here's the crazy part. They couldn't find a buyer. Turns out, even billionaires think twice before dropping that much cash on a house. So there you have it, Palazzo di Amore, a place where you can make your own wine, go bowling, and fill up your car without ever leaving home. It's the kind of place that makes you realize just how wild the world of billion-dollar real estate really is. And believe it or not, we're just getting started. The next place on our list is gonna make Palazzo di Amore look like a cozy cottage. So stick around, cause things are about to get even crazier. Franchuk Villa, London, UK. You thought Palazzo di Amore was wild. Wait till you hear about a mansion that used to be filled with schoolgirls but now has bulletproof windows and a panic room. We're headed to London, where even the ultra-rich are taking security to the next level. Welcome to Franchuk Villa, a 5-story mansion in Kensington that's worth a mind-blowing $330 million. That's more than some countries' GDPs. This place used to be a girls' school, but now it's one of the priciest pads in all of London. Let's talk about what makes this place so special. First off, it's got an underground swimming pool. Your average London flat doesn't even have a parking spot, but these folks have a whole aquatic center beneath their feet. And that's not all. There's also a movie theater down there. It's like they took a whole mall and stuffed it underground. But here's where it gets really crazy. Franchuk Villa's got a panic room. Yeah, you heard that right. Most of us are happy if our front door has a decent lock, but these folks have got a whole room to hide in if things go south. Now, let's talk security. This place has bulletproof windows, because when you're this rich, you can't be too careful. It's like they're expecting a small army to show up at any moment. And if all that security makes you stressed, don't worry. The house has its own beauty salon. You can get your hair done without ever stepping outside your fortified mansion. But renovating this place wasn't cheap or quick. It took 3 whole years and $97 million to get it up to snuff. That's more money than most of us will see in 10 lifetimes just to fix up a house. Most people stress about affording a new coat of paint, but these folks dropped enough cash to buy a small town just on renovations. So who owns this insane mansion? A Ukrainian billionaire bought it for his daughter as a gift. Yeah, you heard that right. While most of us are happy with a gift card for our birthday, this guy's out here buying $330 million mansions for his kid. But here's the kicker, Franchuk Villa ain't even the craziest place on our list. Yeah, you heard that right. We're about to see some mansions that make this place look like a cozy little cottage, so stick around cause things are about to get even wilder. The next billion-dollar crib on our list is gonna make your head spin and your wallet cry. Get ready, cause the luxury's about to get turned up to 11. Villa Les Palmes, French Riviera. Forget panic rooms and beauty salons. What if I told you there's a mansion where you could throw a party for 200 people and still have room for an Olympic-sized pool? Oh, and did I mention it's got some of the rarest plants in Europe? Welcome to Villa Les Palmes, a 19th century mansion on the French Riviera that's worth over $350 million. This place is so fancy, even its plants are A-list celebrities. We're talking 20 acres of gardens filled with some of the rarest flora you'll find in Europe. Most people struggle to keep a cactus alive, but this place has plants worth millions. The main house is insane. It's got a ballroom that can fit 200 people. That's not a typo, 200. Your average house party might squeeze in 20 folks if you're lucky. These people could throw a whole wedding reception without even breaking a sweat. But the party ain't just inside. Villa Les Palmes has an Olympic-sized pool in the backyard. Most of us are happy with a kiddie pool from Walmart, but these folks are swimming laps in a pool big enough for Michael Phelps to train in. And if you thought that was extra, wait till you hear about the guest house. This ain't your average spare room. Nah, the guest house at Villa Les Palmes is bigger than most people's whole mansions. It's like they took a regular luxury home and were like, you know what, let's stick this in the backyard for when company comes over. Now, you're probably wondering who owns this crazy place. Well, back in 1997, Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen bought it for $100 million. Yeah, you heard that right. While most of us were saving up for our first car, this guy dropped 9 figures on a vacation home. But here's the wild part. That $100 million price tag from 97, it's now worth over $350 million. That's a 250% increase. Most people are happy if their house value goes up 10% in a decade. This place tripled in value faster than you can say, billionaire's playground. By now you're probably thinking it can't get more expensive than Villa Les Palmes. I mean, we're talking about a place with million-dollar plants and a pool big enough to host the Olympics. But hold on to your wallets, cause we're just getting started. The next mansion on our list is gonna make this place look like a cozy cottage. We're talking about a house so over the top it makes other billionaire homes look like starter houses. So stick around cause things are about to get even wilder. Villa Asta, Amalfi Coast, Italy. Imagine waking up to a view so stunning it makes the Mediterranean look like your personal swimming pool. At Villa Asta, that's just a typical Tuesday. This place ain't just a house, it's a time machine with a $400 million price tag. Villa Asta is a 19th century mansion on Italy's Amalfi coast. But it's not just sitting on any old land. Nah, this place is built right on top of ancient Roman ruins. Talk about a solid foundation. Most of us are happy if our house doesn't have cracks in the walls. These folks are living in a piece of history. The villa's got 6 suites, but forget your average hotel room. Each one of these bad boys has its own private terrace overlooking the sea. Your typical vacation spot might give you a view of the parking lot. Here, you're getting the whole Mediterranean Sea as your personal screensaver. But the real flex, the gardens. Villa Asta's got over 1,000 species of plants. That's more variety than most botanical gardens. And scattered throughout, ancient Roman artifacts. It's like they took a museum and said, you know what? Let's make this our backyard. Now you'd think a place this fancy would have been safe during World War II, right? Wrong. Villa Asta got hit hard during the war, but don't worry, they fixed it up real nice. Most of us stress about fixing a leaky faucet. These folks rebuilt an entire historic mansion. Here's the kicker, you don't have to be a billionaire to stay here. Villa Asta's now a luxury rental. For just $150,000 a week, you too can live like a billionaire. That's right. For the price of a small house, you can pretend to own this place for 7 whole days. But $150,000 a week? That's pocket change compared to the next house on our list. We're about to see a place so expensive, it makes Villa Asta look like a budget motel. So stick around, cause things are about to get even crazier. We're talking about a house so over the top it'll make your head spin and your wallet cry. Get ready, cause the luxury's about to get turned up to 11. Nile Niami House, Los Angeles, California. Forget million-dollar listings. We're about to step into a world where $500 million for a house is considered reasonable. But here's the kicker. This place is so outrageous, it couldn't even sell. Wanna know why? Let's take a tour of the most over-the-top mansion in LA. Welcome to the Nile Niami House, a mega mansion in Bel Air that's so big, it makes other billionaire homes look like tiny apartments. We're talking 100,000 square feet of pure luxury. That's like 40 regular houses all smooshed together. This place is packed with crazy features. It's got 21 bedrooms and 42 bathrooms. Yeah, you heard that right. 42 bathrooms. Most of us are lucky if we have 2 bathrooms in our whole house, but this place has enough toilets to handle a small army. And get this, the master suite alone is 5,500 square feet. That's twice the size of an average American home. Most people's whole house could fit in this guy's bedroom. But wait, it gets wilder. The Nile Niami house has a 50-car garage. Your average Joe's lucky to have a 2-car garage, but this place could fit a whole car dealership. And if that wasn't enough, it's got 4 swimming pools. Cause why have 1 pool when you can have 4? Now here's where things get really crazy. This mansion has its own candy room. Yeah, a whole room just for sweets. It's like Willy Wonka moved to Bel Air. And if you get tired of eating candy, you can head to the house's private nightclub. No need to wait in line or pay cover. The party's always at your place. But the wildest feature? A room filled with jellyfish tanks. Most people are happy with a fish tank, but these folks have got their own personal aquarium. Now you'd think a place this insane would sell for big bucks, right? Well, hold on to your wallets, cause this story takes a wild turn. The developer, Nile Niami, wanted to sell this place for $500 million. That's $500 million for a house. But guess what? Nobody bought it. The Nile Niami house ended up in foreclosure. Turns out, even billionaires have their limits. This mega mansion was just too over the top for its own good. But here's the crazy part. Even this $500 million flop ain't the most expensive place on our list. Yeah, you heard that right. We're about to see a billion-dollar palace that makes the Nile Niami house look like a budget motel. So stick around, cause things are about to get even wilder. Buckingham Palace, London, UK. From a foreclosed mega mansion to a palace that's literally fit for a queen. But here's the kicker. This place ain't just big. It's got some seriously weird features, like who needs their own post office in their house? Welcome to Buckingham Palace, the official crib of British royalty. This ain't your average mansion. We're talking 775 rooms of pure luxury. And the price tag? A cool $4.9 billion. That's more than some country's whole economy. Let's break it down. Buckingham Palace has 78 bathrooms. That's more toilets than some small towns. It's got 92 offices too, cause running a country is a full-time job. And don't even get me started on the 19 staterooms. Your average house might have a spare room for guests. This place has 52 royal and guest bedrooms. It's like a whole hotel inside a house. But the crazy features don't stop there. Buckingham Palace has its own post office. Yeah, you heard that right. Most of us gotta walk to the corner to mail a letter. The royals just head downstairs. And if there's trouble, no need to call 999. The palace has its own police station. It's got its own cinema too. 'Cause why go out to the movies when you can bring the movies to you? Now let's talk maintenance. This place has over 40,000 light bulbs. Changing them all must be a full-time job. And the windows, there's 760 of them, and they get cleaned every 6 weeks. Most of us can't even keep our car clean that often. But here's the wildest part. The royal family doesn't even own Buckingham Palace. Yeah, you heard that right. It belongs to something called the Crown Estate. So the Queen's just kinda renting? I guess even royalty has landlord problems. You'd think a $4.9 billion palace would be the most expensive property out there. But nah, we're just getting started. There are 2 more places on our list that make Buckingham Palace look like a cozy cottage. We're talking about houses so expensive, they make the royals look like they're living in public housing. So stick around, because we're about to see some properties that'll make your head spin. We're talking about places so fancy, so expensive, so over the top, they make Buckingham Palace look like a starter home. Get ready, because things are about to get even crazier. Chateau Versailles, Versailles, France. You thought Buckingham Palace was big. Get ready for Chateau de Versailles, a place so massive and over the top it literally caused a revolution. This ain't just a palace, it's a whole city. We're talking 721,000 square feet of pure luxury, worth a mind-blowing $50 billion. That's more than some countries' entire economies. Let's break it down. Versailles has 700 rooms. That's not a typo. 700 rooms. Your average house might have what, 5 or 6 rooms? This place has enough space to fit a small town inside. And get this, it's got 1,250 fireplaces. 'Cause one fireplace per room just ain't enough, right? But the real flex? The staircases. Versailles has 67 of them. Most houses have like 1 or 2 staircases. This place has enough for a different one each day of the week, with extras left over. It's like they were allergic to elevators or something. Now let's talk about the grounds. Versailles sits on 2,014 acres. That's bigger than 1,500 football fields put together. Your backyard might be big enough for a BBQ. These folks could host the Super Bowl and still have room left over. But the craziest part? The Hall of Mirrors. This room has 357 mirrors covering 17 arches. It's like they took a fun house and made it classy. Most of us are happy with a mirror in the bathroom. These guys built a whole room of them. Versailles was so expensive to build and maintain, it actually helped bankrupt France. Yeah, you heard that right. This place was so extra it broke an entire country. Most people worry about their mortgage. The French kings were out here spending so much on one house, they tanked the economy. But even with all this crazy luxury, Versailles ain't the most expensive mansion on our list. Yeah, you heard that right. There's one more place that's even more over the top than this royal money pit. A place so insane it makes Versailles look like a cozy cottage.